Do you want your baby, your child to be hanged? And especially if it's nothing they've done.
Executions, the way that they currently went down, I don't feel comfortable making a decision.
The dignity of life from the moment of conception to the moment of natural death.
They do deserve to see the justice that, was promised to them and given to them when Paul was taken home and he was murdered in front of his own 2 girls.
Oklahoma's own News on 6 starts now with breaking news.
And our top story at noon is the breaking news as Oklahoma prepares to put Julius Jones to death in 4 hours for the murder of Paul Howell. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jonathan Cooper.
And I'm Shannon Russo. We, of course, are still awaiting a decision from Governor Kevin Stitt on if he will spare Jones's life and commute his sentence to life with the possibility of parole. Now, in just the past couple of hours, Jones's lawyers have requested a federal judge to put an emergency hold on his execution, saying new evidence from John Grant's execution 3 weeks ago shows Jones is likely to experience unconstitutional pain and suffering as a result of the lethal injection. However, a judge has not ruled on that at this time.
We have teams across the state covering the execution and reaction from both sides of it. We begin with News on 6's Cal Day in McAllister at the state penitentiary with background in Jones's case.
Death row prisoner Julius Jones is scheduled to be executed in less than 4 hours for a crime he was convicted of nearly 2 decades ago. Edmond businessman Paul Howell was shot and killed during a carjacking in front of 3 family members, including his 2 daughters, back in 1999. Jones was among the 2 men arrested when police found the murder weapon at the home he was staying in. Now, following Howell's murder, Jones and Christopher Jordan were charged with first-degree murder. Jordan pleaded guilty in 2001 in exchange for a 30-year sentence to testify against Julius Jones. Jones was found guilty of Howell's murder a year later and sentenced to death. Jones has maintained his innocence from the beginning. His team and supporters claim racial bias in the jury and say Jones was at his parents' house when that murder happened. Christopher Jordan also reportedly told cellmates in prison that he did frame Jones. There are also questions about the DNA testing involved in this case. Jones applied for commutation in 2019, and the Oklahoma Pardon and Parole Board recommended clemency in a 3-1 vote because it doubts Jones's guilt. The board also recommended a commutation of his sentence to life with parole. And barring a last-minute intervention by Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt, Jones is set to be executed via lethal injection this afternoon at 4 o'clock right here at the Oklahoma State Penitentiary. In McAllister, Cal Day, Oklahoma's own News on 6.
And as we just heard there in Cal's report, the victim in this case was 45-year-old Paul Howell. His loved ones say he was a family man, describing him as a silly and fun dad to his 2 daughters. Howell was murdered in front of his sister and 2 daughters at his parents' home back in July of 1999 after an evening of back-to-school shopping. Well, right now, crowds are already gathering outside the state penitentiary in McAllister protesting Jones's execution.
News on 6's Grant Stevens is live in McAllister. It continues our team coverage at noon. Grant.
Jonathan, Shannon, there is still a strong sense out here among the protesters that something could change here in the next couple of hours. A lot of them are still hopeful that Governor Kevin Stitt could intervene here. Everyone I've spoken to says they think that these last few moments before Jones is scheduled to be executed at 4 could make all the difference. And over the last hour or so, the chanting and singing has grown in both strength and in volume. Right now, you've hit us at a bit of a lull. The crowd is gathered around a few of the tents out here speaking, or a few speakers are talking to them, bringing up a lot of things. They're talking about Jones's case itself, but they are also bringing up John Grant's execution a couple weeks ago and the concerns they have with that and what may happen with Jones. We spoke with one of those protesters, Greg Robinson, who was out here a little while ago. He's telling people not to give up hope for Jones just yet.
Get on social media, call, do whatever you can to get through to the governor. We're in the midst of really just a horrible mistake.
Again, Jones is scheduled to be executed at 4, and we haven't heard any word yet if anything will change or if Governor Stitt will intervene. We are still waiting to hear about that, if that will happen. We'll be out here all day, live, covering this the entire afternoon. Live in McAllister, Grant Stevens, Oklahoma's own News on 6.
And the Oklahoma Highway Patrol is increasing security near the state capitol and the governor's mansion this week. OHP says it supports Oklahomans' rights to peacefully assemble, but says it is prepared if at any point things turn violent or laws are broken. State troopers did arrest one person at a protest just last night. The State House of Representatives also just closed its offices so non-essential staff could go home.
Our team coverage on today's scheduled execution continues at 12:30 with reaction from supporters protesting at the state capitol, as well as reaction from Paul Howell's family. Stay with News on 6 and the News on 6 app for the latest developments.
We needed that big coat this morning. It started off cold. Temperatures getting into the 20s north of Tulsa. Today it was 25 for the low in Bartlesville, 28 in Pawhuska. Here in Tulsa we got down to 31, and then the clouds helped out a lot in southeast Oklahoma. Upper 30s, low 40s for morning temperatures. Not bad down in southeast Oklahoma, but definitely cold up to the north of you guys. Temperatures right now, we're already in the 50s. We're going to stay in the 50s this afternoon. 53 here in Metro, 51 in Veneta, and 55 in McAllister, with a light northeast breeze. Now the winds later this evening will be turning and they'll be back out of the southeast. Tomorrow those south winds will pick up and we're expecting more of a warm up, not just for tomorrow, but also into some of your weekend. A look at Guthrie Green from across the street here from News on 6. You can still see a little fall color. Some of those red trees still look gorgeous, but a lot of the leaves are falling now, so I'm sure you guys have a lot of raking to do. I know I do. 53 degrees today, still about 2 o'clock, and then up to around 55, 56 by the 4 o'clock hour. Later this evening at 6 p.m. we'll be down to 48. So get that coat out again if you have some evening plans. Coming up, we'll talk about your weekend. We have the Jinx Christmas parade going on. We also have the Williams Route 66 marathon. I'll have your forecast coming up.
Well, 3 people are in critical condition this afternoon following a crash near 31st and Riverside early this morning. Police say a car was trying to pass another car when it clipped it and went off the road into a creek. All 3 people in that car went to the hospital. The driver of the car that was hit was not hurt.
The OSBI is asking for your help finding a missing Haskell woman. Agents say Tamara Banks was last seen at her home on Monday. Court records show she didn't show up to a court appearance yesterday for a protective order she had filed. If you have any information on her whereabouts, call the OSBI at the number listed right there on your screen. Still ahead, deliberations move into day 3 in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, how the community is preparing for a verdict.
Plus, approval could come as soon as today on COVID-19 vaccine boosters for all U.S. adults.
Want an in-ground pool at a fraction of the price? Galaxy's Stealth Semi-In-Ground Pools are perfect for unlevel yards. Install in as little as 3 days. Take advantage of our fall special and be ready for spring. Shop any of our 4 locations.
Today is a great day to find a job in Oklahoma.
There are more choices, higher pay,
and statewide financial incentives.
At Express Employment Professionals of Oklahoma, we believe the real incentive should be to find your purpose. Oklahomans want to feel productive, provide for their family, and make a difference in their community. With thousands of connections across all industries, Express makes it easier to find your purpose.
Today is a great day to find my purpose.
Wishing. What an interesting concept. Placing all your hopes and dreams on chance. The flip of a coin, a shooting star, the end of a rainbow. Well, here at Montereau, Tulsa's premier community for older adults, your wish is guaranteed. Montereau, retirement as you wish.
It's November, Oklahoma, and a Hunt Appliance Warehouse, that can only mean one thing. Black Friday pricing. And our Black Friday specials start right now with everything on the floor priced and ready to go. Savings of 30, 40, even 50% off. If you've been in the market for a new appliance, Hunt Appliance has got you covered. You can shop in person at one of our 3 locations in Tulsa, OKC, or Edmond, or from the comfort of your couch by visiting our website and chatting with us online. Black Friday savings start now. Put us to the test.
The Tulsa Oilers are back on the ice. With a new owner, a new look, and a new attitude. Friday, November 19th, the ultimate experience of hockey and entertainment begins. 705 BOK Center. Tickets at TulsaOilers.com. TulsaOilers.com. Experience hard-hitting, glove-dropping, pulse-pounding, glass-rattling kind of thrill. Get your tickets now at TulsaOilers.com. TulsaOilers.com. This is your town, your team, Your Tulsa Oilers are back.
Want an in-ground pool at a fraction of the price? Galaxy's Stealth semi-in-ground pools are perfect for unlevel yards. Install in as little as 3 days. Take advantage of our fall special and be ready for spring. Shop any of our 4 locations.
This segment of the News on 6, sponsored by Windows by Jeff, the name you trust.
We are following some breaking news. This is a story we have been covering, of course, for a long time now, but we have just learned that Governor Kevin Stitt has commuted Julius Jones' sentence to life without the possibility of parole. Of course, Julius Jones was scheduled to be executed at 4 p.m. today. That will not happen now.
And with that decision, of course, like Jonathan said, that is not happening. His sentence has been commuted to life with the possibility of parole. Governor Kevin Stitt just put out a statement, and it says, quote, after prayerful consideration and reviewing materials presented by all sides of this case, I have determined to commute Julius Jones' sentence to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. And I misspoke earlier, that is without the possibility.
And this is a live look at McAllister, and we are assuming that people down there are hearing this news right now as well. We do hope to get to Grant Stevens, who is on the ground there at some point. We'll try to get to that a little bit later. But of course, the big headline here, the governor commutes Julius Jones' sentence to life without the possibility of parole. We'll get to that here in a little bit. In other news now, more Americans may soon be eligible to get COVID-19 vaccine booster shots.
This comes as the Biden administration announced it's purchased enough of Pfizer's experimental COVID antiviral drug for about 10 million people. Anthony Pura has more.
FDA authorization for a Pfizer booster shot for all adults could come at any time. The drug maker filed for authorization last week. The CDC would still need to sign off on the plan.
CDC will quickly review the safety and effectiveness data and make recommendations as soon as we hear from FDA.
Some states aren't waiting. This morning, Massachusetts became the latest one to approve boosters for anyone over 18.
If you were already vaccinated 6 months or more ago and eligible for a boost, get a boost.
The move comes as breakthrough infections surge across the country. Minnesota is one of the hot spots.
All 13 beds are COVID again. Looks just like it did a year ago, in December.
And while the main focus remains on vaccination, President Biden announced his administration has purchased 10 million courses of Pfizer's antiviral COVID-19 pill, Paxlovid, to reduce the risk of severe illness for people infected with COVID. The drug still needs FDA authorization. Anthony Pura, CBS News, Los Angeles.
The jury is in its 3rd day of deliberations in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. The 18-year-old faces up to life in prison if convicted of murdering 2 men during protests last year in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Most supporters of Rittenhouse and activists wanting a conviction have gathered outside the courthouse.
I believe in what that kid did. I think they ought to give the kid a pat in the back, give him his weapons back, tell him job well done.
What we saw was 2 people killed. The verdict must show some accountability for the loss of life.
500 National Guard troops are standing by.
And still ahead with that breaking news we just got from the governor commuting Julius Jones' sentence to life without the possibility of parole. We are going to have more team coverage coming up, including hopefully speaking live with Grant Stevens, who is at the state penitentiary in McAllister, with the reaction he is seeing over there.
And we'll be right back after this break.
If you need work done around the house, it can be hard to find a reliable contractor around here. They're juggling jobs, they won't call you back. Well, if you need windows or doors, Renewal by Andersen's reliability is one of the many reasons thousands of local customers have trusted us. As the replacement window division of Andersen, we've removed the typical contractor from the equation. Our certified master installers are respectful of your home, and they clean, I mean really clean, when they're done. Now, some homeowners have this notion that vinyl windows are a good choice, but you may not realize that vinyl is just plastic. And these days, plastic often gets thrown away. Either way, plastic vinyl windows don't seem like the best option to protect you from the elements. Our composite Fibrex material is 2 times stronger than vinyl. And unlike those windows made who knows where, our windows are custom built right here in America. Okay, so you want a price. Other companies might give you a wild guess at a price over the phone. We just don't think that's ethical. We'll visit your home, see exactly what you have, and then give you an exact price quote. And we'll honor that price for a whole year, so there's no pressure.
We had been through the let's go the cheapest route we can and try the big box store, and it ended up badly for us. We didn't want a repeat of that. We wanted somebody that we could trust, somebody with a quality product so they would last.
Our countdown to Black Friday sale is our biggest dollar discount and best financing of the year. Before Black Friday, save $349 on windows, save $949 on doors, get an extra 3% discount when you pay for your whole project with cash or check, or don't pay anything for 2 years. Call before our sale ends November 26th, 918-771-0101.
From Black Mesa to Turner Falls, the land we belong to is grand. Your home is our home. We're locally owned. News on 6.
I felt like I was being strangled.
The aftermath of the Astroworld tragedy, how it happened and who's to blame.
Why was this show not stopped when it was classified as a mass casualty event?
New Dr. Phil.
Thursday at 3 on Channel 6. You're out and about, just minding your own business when...
Oh, what? You're kidding.
Just living your life and...
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
It could happen to you. See the Great Give Back Wednesdays at 6 a.m. from T-Mobile and Oklahoma's own News on 6.
Welcome back. We continue to follow that breaking news here at noon with Governor Kevin Stitt commuting Julius Jones' sentence to life without the possibility of parole. News on 6's Grant Stevens has been in McAllister at the state penitentiary getting reaction from people who were outside the prison who were awaiting this execution to happen at 4 o'clock, which again is no longer happening because of the governor's decision.
And Grant is live out there. Of course, we saw those protesters earlier from Osage Sky News 6. Grant, what are you seeing out there?
Shannon, Jonathan, there was this palpable moment, this singular moment when everyone jumped up at once as we all got our notifications that this was all going to change. Everyone jumped up in the air and started cheering and chanting. The mood has done a complete 180 out here. People are still gathered around talking to people, talking amongst one another, giving each other hugs, just celebrating this elation that they are all feeling. They say this is still far from over. They're still going to stand by Jones no matter what comes next. But one thing that they are all chanting and focusing on right now is the fact that Jones is one step closer to coming home to his family, one step closer to being able to celebrate his life with a lot of these supporters that are out here. Again, right now they are still centered around some of the people in there talking about this, just celebrating the joy that they are all feeling. And again, out here when we were here just a few minutes ago, the mood was far more somber. They were still hoping that something like this could happen, but no one was really positive what would happen. Now that we have this news, the entire day and this entire crowd's mood has changed. We'll be bringing you more updates throughout the afternoon as we get more details on this and as we zero in. For now, live in McAllister, Grant Stevens, Oklahoma's own News on 6.
All right, great. Thank you. And Emery Bryan has traveled to Oklahoma City. We are told that there are some people at the Capitol. That's where we're told the governor is today as well.
And we heard the reaction where Grant is at. And Emery, we're wondering, what is the reaction that you're seeing right now of people at the Capitol learning of this news regarding Julius Jones' sentence?
Well, the celebrating is still going on here. Just a few minutes ago, we were out in the crowd talking to people just a minute ago. That first alert came. We saw some people quickly looking at their phones, and this whole crowd here had been monitoring the governor's press statements, every kind of news outlet they could find. Everybody was looking at their phones within just a few seconds. This entire crowd all around the rotunda, a couple of hundred people here easily. That word spread very quickly. Huge cheer went up. Cheering probably 30 seconds, and then there was almost a moment of disbelief. And a few people came up to us and said, "Is it true? Do you have it?" And so we were able to show a few people our phone that had that press statement on it. Another cheer went up, and now that celebrating is continuing. But they're telling people here that they want to still support the Jones family. They're very happy with the governor's decision, obviously. But they also say that this isn't over. They want to take this momentum, this social justice movement, this effort to examine all kinds of cases, especially death penalty cases. They want to keep that momentum going, and that's what's happening right now in the crowd. But still, a lot of celebrating going on, a lot of people very happy, some crying, some on the floor overcome with emotion as that announcement came down here at the Capitol. Shannon, back to you.
All right, Emery Bryan, I'll take it. Thank you so much, Emery Bryan, at the state capitol there. And we do want to mention in this release that the governor has ordered that Jones shall not be eligible to apply or to be considered for a commutation, pardon, or parole for the remainder of his life. So Julius Jones will remain in prison for the rest of his life.
You know, Jonathan, as this is unfolding, and we're getting reaction from those protesters in McAllister, where Grant is at, and then we just saw from Emery at the Capitol in Oklahoma City. We're wondering now, I think a lot of us are, what the reaction is from Paul Howell's family. Howell, as we mentioned earlier, was the victim in this case, murdered back in 1999. They had told us that they felt re-victimized because of this, having to relive this all over again. So I'm wondering what that point of view is looking like this afternoon as they learn of this news.
And we'll have much more on it throughout this newscast. But let's get over to Stacia Knight, who is checking our weather. Hey, Stacia.
Winter later tonight at 10 o'clock. Trav's going to have his winter outlook, and so make sure you tune in tonight at 10. He'll have his winter forecast. He's going to talk about the temperature outlook for the winter. He'll also talk about the precipitation and that burning question of snow. Could we get some this winter? Well, he'll answer it coming up tonight at 10. Right now it's a beautiful fall day. Blue skies, cool temperatures, winds are light. A lot of the leaves are falling off the trees, but you still have some beautiful fall foliage on a few locations now, but most of the leaves are falling from the winds yesterday. 53 degrees, and before that, 53 right now. North winds at 8. Dew point down to 16. Air is very dry. Make sure you're putting on that chapstick. Thursday afternoon highs are going to be in the low to mid 50s all across eastern Oklahoma. 56 in the metro. Down in southeast Oklahoma, topping out about 57, maybe up to 58 in a few spots today. Down around McAllister and Wilburton over to Stigler. Big night tonight in Jinx, downtown Jinx. The lights are coming on. It's lights on for the holiday season. Trav is going to be there live at 5 and 6, and he'll help MC the event. So make sure you join us again at 5 and 6 tonight to watch that. 44 degrees this evening in Jinx, Main Street. The event is from 4 to 8. I think Santa might be there too. Not quite sure though. For Friday morning, it's going to get really cold again. Now earlier this morning, Bartlesville got down to 25. You're going to do that again tomorrow morning. And then here in Tulsa, we'll get down to about 30. But there could be some spots that get down to 20 south of the metro. Okmulgee could get down to about 29. Salisaw down to 29. 29 also potentially as far south as Wilburton and Podo. Really cold conditions for tomorrow. Make sure outdoor pets have a warm and dry shelter. And then protect the sensitive plants that you're concerned about. Cover them up or bring them inside. We are looking at hard freeze potential again tomorrow morning, mostly up to the north and then off to the east of the metro. So around Pryor and Tahlequah, Grove to Veneta, back up into southeast Kansas, and Bartlesville over to Pawhuska. That is where we think temperatures will get down to at least 28, and that of course is a hard freeze. Now from Tulsa to the south, I think you'll stay above that hard freeze mark, but it's still a widespread freeze all across the area. Highs tomorrow afternoon will be in the upper 50s to near 60. The winds are going to be stronger tomorrow out of the south, gusting to about 25 to 28 miles per hour. That does increase our fire danger concern some, especially out to our west where the air is drier, the winds are stronger. Tomorrow's not a good day to do any burning, and make sure you're just not doing anything that causes a spark because the fires could spread pretty quickly tomorrow. Then tomorrow also is the start of Winterfest. 5 o'clock things will get started. You can do some ice skating tomorrow evening. 6:30 the lights come on, and temperatures for tomorrow, like I mentioned, top out near 60 in Tulsa. By tomorrow evening, we'll be into the mid 50s for the start of Winterfest. And then Saturday morning, not as cold. We'll actually be above freezing Saturday morning in the upper 30s and low 40s, getting us ready for the Jinx Christmas Parade. 50 degrees in Jinx for their parade on Saturday. It starts at 10 a.m. Saturday afternoon, the warm up continues. Mid to upper 60s will be close to 70 in Tulsa for Saturday afternoon. Then another front is coming through Saturday night. That will allow temperatures to get cooler for Sunday and Monday, and then we get frosty again to start our next work week. We'll talk more about the weekend coming up.
When the heat is on,
your money's gone.
Set yourself up for $15 electric bills at $15electricbill.com.
How long does that take?
Less than 60 seconds.
Wow.
There's money waiting for you at $15electricbill.com.
Bring home the quality and comfort of Flex Steel at huge savings this month at Galleria Furniture and Mattress Outlet. Come see our new Flex Steel gallery and save 15% off beautiful Flex Steel living room and bedroom sets. Flex Steel offers the best quality and warranty on the market. For a limited time, enjoy savings of 15% off beautiful Flex Steel furniture, plus no interest for 12 months. Never pay retail again at Galleria Furniture and Mattress Outlet. Now open at 2300 East Kenosha in Broken Arrow and on Old Shawnee Road in Muskogee.
If you want to stop the flu and that nasty COVID bug too, be careful how you share and wash your hands with care.
Yeah.
Don't bug me. Don't forget the soap. Don't bug me. Tell all those bugs no. Hey, you bugs. Don't bug me.
How do you prevent the flu and COVID too? Wear a mask and keep your distance from others. Wash your hands often and get your flu shot and the COVID shot too.
Hey, you bugs. Don't bug me.
Sponsored by Hillcrest and the Tulsa Health Department.
Saturday, November 20th, join Osage Casino Hotel for our Fall Into Cash promotion, where you could win a share of $255,000 in cash. $500 cash drawings from 5 to 10 p.m. and at 10 p.m. grand prize drawings for $25,000 in cash across all 7 locations. Start earning entries November 7th. Visit OsageCasino.com for details. Win your share of $255,000 in our Fall Into Cash promotion, only at Osage Casino Hotel.
Hi, I'm Steve Largent, and I'm so thankful I finally found the right hearing aids. Over the years, I've tried multiple styles of hearing aids from all over the country and can tell you firsthand that Cleartone's patented technology made all the difference for me. Cleartone has decided to give away hearing aids to try for free to anyone with a hearing loss. You've got nothing to lose. Call Cleartone and let us make sure you can hear for the holidays.
Cleartone.
Guys, cold weather is on the way.
And when your heat is on, your money's gone.
Slash your utility bills forever with Shine Solar.
Low energy bills forever?
Forever. See how low you can make your utility bill at $15electricbill.com.
We continue to follow this breaking news as Governor Kevin Stitt has commuted Julius Jones' sentence to life without the possibility of parole. We have crews spread out throughout the state. Reagan Ledbetter has traveled to the state prison. He was going to be in there perhaps if Julius Jones would have been executed earlier today, but he is outside of the prison in McAllister.
And Reagan, I know that you're going to kind of give us a wrap of everything that has been going on from leading up to this major decision that just came down less than 30 minutes ago. This has kind of been a 180 day for you because you were expecting to potentially be drawn in a lottery to witness this execution, which again, that is no longer happening today.
Yeah, Shannon and Coop, we just walked in the media room here on the prison grounds. They let us in through the gates at about noon, and we walked in and showed our IDs and got set down, and the announcement came out just a few minutes later that Governor Stitt commuted the sentence of Julius Jones. As we know, all eyes were on Governor Stitt this week as everybody waited from both sides to see what decision he would make. And as we know, he could have made no decision and the execution would have gone as scheduled. Now, as supporters of Julius Jones, they've believed all along that he's innocent, that he didn't get a fair trial back in 2002. And House family, as we know, met with Governor Stitt this week, and they've always believed Jones was guilty and they want this all to be over. So, with the decision by Governor Stitt today of life without the possibility of parole, some may consider this as a meeting in the middle. As we know, Jones supporters want him to go home today. They want his sentence completely commuted and no death sentence or no prison time. Whereas Howe's family, they want justice for Paul Howe. So some may consider this to be a meeting in the middle. But as a repeating of what Stitt said today, he said, after prayerful consideration and reviewing materials presented by all sides of this case, I have determined to commute Julius Jones' sentence to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. Now, he said that on the condition that Jones shall not be eligible to apply for or be considered for commutation, pardon, or parole for the remainder of his life. We actually are standing out here on the prison grounds right now. We can hear the protesters, the people that have gathered outside the prison grounds where Grant's at right now. We could hear the yelling and screaming, very, very excited. Actually, on another point, when we were driving in here today, we stopped at a gas station and ran into Julius Jones' family, and his sister was in line at the gas station, and we asked her, how she was doing, and she said, surprisingly calm. She's trusting in God. That was about 2 hours before Governor Stitt's decision. As we all know, they're very thrilled by this decision to stop the execution and move forward. Back to you guys.
All right, Reagan Ledbetter live there in McAllister outside of the prison. We do hope to hear from Paul Howell's family as well. Of course, they were adamant and believe that Julius Jones did commit this murder. So seeing what they're going to say about this as well.
And we heard Reagan mention they did meet with the governor not too long ago talking about this and what their hope for this outcome would be. The governor also met with the legal teams for both Jones and the Howell family. I imagine sometime today we'll get some sort of statement from the Howell family as well as from Julius Jones's family, and most notably his mother, who spoke to the press, I believe, just a few days ago, trying to deliver a letter to Governor Stitt asking him to commute her son's sentence.
And we do have crews, as we mentioned, spread out throughout the state. Emory Bryan in Oklahoma City. We also have some crews over there in McAllister. We're going to get some local reaction as well, but stay with us. We're going to have much more throughout this newscast as we continue to follow this very big breaking news.
Do you suffer with pain, numbness, and tingling in the hands or feet? Commonly diagnosed as peripheral neuropathy? Are you taking drugs such as Lyrica or gabapentin that have serious side effects and never seem to fix your neuropathy? Your doctor has told you to just live with the pain? Peripheral neuropathy is a result of damage to the nerves, often causing burning, weakness, pain, numbness, tingling, and the most debilitating balance problems. Our facility combines the latest treatment methods to give you relief from neuropathy with no injections and no drugs. You can start seeing relief in only a few sessions. To determine if your neuropathy can be treated, we do a painless neuropathy severity exam to determine the amount of nerve loss. There's nothing we can do once you've sustained 85% nerve loss. Call us today to schedule your neuropathy severity exam to determine the extent of your nerve damage. We do accept Medicare and most other health insurances. Call today.
If your family is like mine, you're finding everything is just a little more challenging these days. We get it. And that's why Pediatric Dental Group can help save your day. We make it easy to get your kids the high-quality health care they deserve. In a flash, make sure you schedule your dental and vision appointments at the same time, at the same place. Plus, we accept most insurance and Medicaid. Call today and visit one of our convenient locations.
Are you spending too much money on your Medicare expenses? Global Health could help you save thousands of dollars every year.
We also have new plans that put money back in your pocket every month. Call now to see if you're eligible to receive a $25 monthly credit on your Part B premium, a $25 monthly Healthy Benefits grocery card, and a $25 monthly over-the-counter allowance.
Don't miss your chance to enroll in one of our 4-star plans that gives you more benefits and helps you save. Attend a Medicare seminar and get a $10 Walmart gift card.
There's annoying, and there's insurance company annoying. Constant phone calls, piles of paperwork. The insurance company knows what it takes to push you to the edge. We won't let you fall. After you're hurt, never go it alone. Call Car & Car today.
This segment of News on 6, sponsored by Jackie Cooper Imports. From News on 6, this is breaking news.
Welcome back. We can continue to follow breaking news here. The major news that happened just 30 minutes ago that Governor Kevin Stitt has commuted Julius Jones' sentence to life without the possibility of parole. Of course, Jones was set to be executed at 4 o'clock today in McAllister. That is no longer happening. I do believe we have a live look we would like to take right now. This is at the Tulsa School of Arts and Sciences near 412 and the Tisdale Parkway. What you're looking at is students from that school walking out supporting Julius Jones, whose sentence was just commuted by the governor. We saw something very similar like this yesterday in the Oklahoma City metro area at John Marshall High School, which is where Julius Jones was a student many years ago. Our sister station in Oklahoma City, News 9, spoke with some of those students in Oklahoma City yesterday who said that they saw Jones as one of them and that they were walking out supporting him, wanting this sentence to be commuted.
And we are told that some other Tulsa Public School high school students students have been walking out of classes today. Owasso students up at Owasso High School, they were planning on doing a walkout at 1 o'clock, but we are told that has been canceled now that the governor has made this decision. And Shannon mentioned that high schools across the state of Oklahoma have been walking out. Some of these students are supporting Julius Jones and wanted to make their voices heard. You can see there's signs there as well. You mentioned John Marshall, Putnam City West, Putnam City North, Classen. Those are all Oklahoma City high schools. And obviously high schools here in the Tulsa metro area are also getting in on this. And not sure if they're going to continue this now that the governor has made his decision, but you can see there that they have signs. They were prepared to do this today.
And News on 6's Amy Slanchuk is live at that location at the Tulsa School of Arts and Sciences. Hopefully we can check in with her a little later to get firsthand reaction from her about what students at that school are saying about the governor's decision. But right now, in addition to Jones's supporters, Paul Howell's family has also been weighing in on the execution that, again, was supposed to go forward today, but is no longer moving forward.
And News on 6's Brooke Griffin continues our team coverage now with both men's families and friends and how they're handling all of this.
And of course, emotions are running high this week surrounding the case as both sides say that they're trying to fight for justice. Supporters of Julius Jones argue his innocence and say that the evidence against him just simply doesn't line up. They say Jones is not the person who murdered Paul Howell back in 1999. They're asking Governor Stitt to spare Jones's life. J.B. Williams is a lifelong friend of Julius Jones, and he says that Jones deserves to get a second chance at his life.
It isn't based on his guilt or innocence. It's based on the fact that he's been in prison for 22 years and he's served his time.
Howell's family and friends say that they deserve justice after years of living in fear that Jones could one day be released and hurt someone else. The Howell family met with Governor Stitt last week to make their case.
They're not out to see somebody die, to see somebody hurt or wrongfully, they're not out for that. But they do deserve to see the justice that, was promised to them and given to them when Paul was taken and he was murdered in front of his own 2 girls.
And the governor's office tells us that he has spent time praying and seeking out spiritual guidance in the process of making his decision today. In Tulsa, Brooke Griffin, Oklahoma's Own News on 6.
And of course, make sure to stay with us here at News on 6 and download our free News on 6 app for all the latest developments as those come in throughout the afternoon and evening. Like we've mentioned, we would expect some sort of statement from the Paul Howell's family to be coming in regarding this decision.
And we're going to have much more on this breaking news and get to some other news as well after this break. Stay with us.
Here at Amish Crafted Furniture, we don't settle for second best, and neither should you. We hand select our builders to make sure you get the best quality you deserve made right here in the USA. Come see the difference at 81st and Memorial in Tulsa.
When the hands that do the fixing need fixing, when the hands that do the caring need caring, that's a job for O'Keeffe's Working Hands. It's America's #1 selling hand cream and guaranteed relief for extremely dry, cracked hands. Also available in O'Keeffe's Lip Repair.
It's November, Oklahoma, and a Hunt Appliance Warehouse, that can only mean one thing: Black Friday pricing. And our Black Friday specials start right now with everything on the floor priced and ready to go. Savings of 30, 40, even 50% off. If you've been in the market for a new appliance, Hunt Appliance has got you covered. You can shop in person at one of our 3 locations in Tulsa, OKC, or Edmond, or from the comfort of your couch by visiting our website and chatting with us online. Black Friday savings start now. Put us to the test.
Do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully execute the duties of the Cherokee Nation Marshal Service.
My officers will run into a house that has an armed gunman without question to save a life. Men and women in law enforcement putting their lives on the line for somebody they don't know. We swear to protect the Cherokee Nation Constitution and the United States of America.
Hi, I'm Steve Largent, and I'm so thankful I finally found the right hearing aids. Over the years, I've tried multiple styles of hearing aids from all over the country and can tell you firsthand that Cleartone's patented technology made all the difference for me. Cleartone has decided to give away hearing aids to try for free to anyone with a hearing loss. You've got nothing to lose. Call Cleartone and let us make sure you can hear for the holidays.
American Leak Detection is your go-to solution for any type of leak in your home or business. Water leaks,
gas leaks, or sewer smells, if you can't find the leak, we can. We are
American Leak Detection.
Here at Amish Crafted Furniture, we don't settle for second best, and neither should you. We hand select our builders to make sure you get the best quality you deserve, made right here in the USA. Come see the difference at 81st and Memorial in Tulsa.
We continue to follow the big breaking news that Governor Kevin Stitt has commuted Julius Jones' sentence. He will not be executed at 4 p.m. today. We are hearing from John O'Connor. He's the Attorney General, of course, for the state of Oklahoma. He was appointed by Governor Kevin Stitt. He has just released a statement within the last 2 or 3 minutes, and we do want to read that to you because he has been outspoken about this case as well, of the top attorney in the state of Oklahoma. He says, quote, "The Office of the Attorney General respects the statutory authority of the governor to make this decision. I know Governor Kevin Stitt is making what he believes is the right decision. I appreciate the governor's condition that Mr. Jones never be released from prison. However, we are greatly disappointed that after 22 years, 4 appeals, including the review of 13 appellate judges, the work of the investigators, prosecutors, jurors, and the trial judge have all been set aside."
And that statement continues saying a thorough review of the evidence confirms Julius Jones's guilt in this case and that the death penalty was warranted. Our office will continue to work for justice and for the safety of all Oklahomans, including families like Paul Howell's. We recognize that the pain of losing a loved one never ends, and our hearts and prayers are with the Howell family. Again, that is a statement coming in within the past few minutes from Oklahoma's Attorney General John O'Connor. And right now we're taking a live look in McAllister at the Oklahoma State Penitentiary, where a lot of people have gathered supporting, and then most of them, I would say, protesting that execution that was scheduled to happen, which no longer is. News on 6's Grant Stevens, Reagan Ledbetter are in McAllister with coverage, and Emery Bryan is in Oklahoma City at the state capitol getting reaction from people who have gathered there as well. And of course, we are going to be checking back in with them within the next several minutes to see and hear what they're learning from on the ground.
And we're also going to post this John O'Connor statement online as well, so you can read it. From apparently his statement, he does believe that Julius Jones was guilty through this. He does respect the governor's decision, and that he is hoping to get justice for all Oklahomans, including the family of Paul Howells. We're going to continue to follow this. We'll have more information and hope to get out to some of our reporters about what's happening on the ground out there. Stay with us. We'll have much more after this break.
When you buy something here, you know nobody else is going to either be wearing it or having it.
I see it, I want it, I get it right then.
Find something you love at Brahms and Affair of the Heart, November 19th through 21st at SageNet Center Expo at Expo Square.
When joints begin to fail, it's more than an inconvenience. The relentless grinding pain slows you down and can even stop you from doing the things you enjoy in life. At Utica Heart Clinic, our skilled orthopedic experts are using advanced joint technologies to get you back to being you sooner with a less painful recovery. We're doing more than restoring joints. We're restoring lives.
Did you know that Tulsa Tech offers classes to help launch your career in manufacturing? Labs with state-of-the-art equipment and hands-on learning by qualified industry professionals makes Tulsa Tech the leading choice for affordable career training in high-paying fields. Fields like machining, mechatronic systems, drafting, and applied engineering. To learn how Tulsa Tech can help you make your own path to a successful career, call 918-828-5000 or visit tulsatech.edu.
You know, the holidays, they're all about tradition. For decades, the Hamlet has been Oklahoma's first choice when you want the best for your family and guests. Every honey-kissed, fire-glazed ham carefully prepared, and now the Hamlet even more convenient with online ordering, local delivery, and shipping. Plus, you can fill your table with a whole smoked turkey, signature chipotle sauce, and a lot more.
Only the best for your family and guests. Get a honey-kissed ham at the Hamlet.
Glass panes. A 40-mile-an-hour gust just opened the glass door on your business. It came unhinged. So did you. Now what? Call Robinson Glass and get serious relief from glass panes. We're all you need to know about glass.
Robinson Glass.
Engineering's the most important field of study known to man, from the wheel to the space station, which I went to.
Howard, this again?
Just tell your story.
I can't figure out this engineering project. And every time I turn it in, my professor just lifts it up.
You'll need to do this again.
Never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never gonna get it.
What are you doing?
Watching Sheldon struggle with homework. It's so great.
A new Young Sheldon, tonight at 8, 7 Central on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
Reaction continues to pour in from all sides as Governor Kevin Stitt has commuted the sentence of death row prisoner Julius Jones. He is now going to be sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. Of course, we have crews spread out throughout the state with reaction. We've seen Grant Stevens that is out in McAllister outside of the prison where that execution was supposed to happen at 4 p.m. today.
And Jonathan, I did want to clarify that pursuant to this provision, Governor Stitt has ordered that Jones shall not be eligible to apply for or be considered for a commutation, pardon, or parole for the remainder of his life. But his life was spared today. As Jonathan mentioned, we do want to go back out now to Grant Stevens, who is live in McAllister at the state penitentiary with reaction from people on the ground. Grant, we checked in with you a little while ago, and you told us that the reaction there was one of almost jubilation and happiness that this sentence has now been commuted. What are you seeing and hearing right now?
Yeah, Shannon, Jonathan, it was just pure elation in that moment when everyone got the notification at once. But now the crowd has almost switched over to a sort of calmer, more thoughtful sense right now. You can kind of hear right now there are a few people actually gathered around singing Amazing Grace. So the mood here has shifted completely. Everyone is just kind of taking this breath, this sigh of relief that this has happened. And the crowd is kind of bunched together towards these tents up front as everyone starts to hear from some of the organizers and some of the speakers kind of talking about the work that they took to put it in here. A lot of them believe that their work here on the ground was one of the reasons that they're starting to see some of this change. They believe that all of the action they took really made a difference. And even though we know that this case probably will not be changing at all, we know that he is sentenced to life without parole, they're still saying things like they hope he can walk free again. They're very hopeful. This has kind of reignited a new hope in this case. And we'll be continuing to follow this kind of quiet elation now that the crowd is experiencing. But for now, live in McAllister, Grant Stevens, Oklahoma's own News on 6.
Okay, Grant, thank you. Live in McAllister as we have Osage Sky News 6 that is above the scene there. You can see the crowds as well up there.
And we want to check it back in later with News on 6's Emery Bryan to get reaction from the state capitol. But we do want to check back in with Station Knight in the Bob Mills Weather Center with the look at our latest forecast for our midday Thursday. Station?
Hey guys, we're tracking another freeze later tonight, a widespread freeze with some areas getting down to about 25. Again, that'll happen around Bartlesville. But for this afternoon, it looks really good. Temperatures will be in the low to mid 50s for today. Lots of sunshine, as you can see here from Jinx and the First Oklahoma Bank. Blue skies, not a cloud in sight right now. 55 degrees today at 2 o'clock and then 56 by the 4 o'clock hour. For this evening, clear skies, winds are light, and the winds are actually going to be changing directions. By about 8 o'clock tonight, the winds are going to be out of the southeast, and that is going to help a warm up tomorrow with those south winds that are actually going to get a little stronger for tomorrow afternoon. That'll help give us a boost in temperatures for tomorrow. But in terms of this evening, we're going to be in the 40s, and then tonight dropping down into the 30s by 10 o'clock. Sunset is 5:14 tonight, and it just gets earlier and earlier and earlier. But the earliest sunset that we have of the year is at 5:09, and that happens November 28th through December 12th. So it's getting closer. Also, a really cool event that's happening tonight is a partial lunar eclipse. Starts just after midnight, ends just after 6 a.m. Best viewing window is between about 1:18 and 4:47 a.m. So you have to get up early, but skies will be clear. So actually tonight is going to be really good viewing conditions for that partial lunar eclipse. Now we're also again looking at the freeze potential going forward, and tonight there's going to be a widespread freeze. Tulsa will get down to 30, lots of 20s on the map, even in southeast Oklahoma for air temperature. Then next week, another front's going to come through early Sunday morning, and that will knock temperatures down again for Monday and Tuesday of next week. So Monday and Tuesday, we'll be looking at another frosty start here in the metro, and then freeze potential north of Tulsa. Here's tomorrow morning, though, 27 in Veneta, 25 in Bartlesville, 30 in Tulsa, and even Wilburton in southeast Oklahoma could get down to 29. Then Friday afternoon, like I mentioned, a warm up, upper 50s to near 60. The winds will be gusting tomorrow 25 to 28 miles per hour. Fire danger is elevated some, so tomorrow, although it's warm warmer. It's going to be a breezy day. We'll start off in the 40s for Saturday morning, generally in the 40s, or maybe a couple spots to get into the upper 30s. Then Saturday afternoon, we're back in the 60s, mid to upper 60s. We're actually warmer than normal Saturday afternoon, but it doesn't last long. Going into our Sunday, the Route 66 Marathon, temperatures will be in the 50s, and we'll have those winds that'll be out of the north at about 10 to 15. That was a quick peek at your Thanksgiving. We'll have a slight chance for rain and cool temperatures. We'll talk more about it at 4 o'clock. This is a look at your 7-day planner. News on 6 will be right back.
Want an in-ground pool at a fraction of the price? Galaxy's Stealth Semi-In-Ground Pools are perfect for unlevel yards. Install in as little as 3 days. Take advantage of our fall special and be ready for spring. Shop any of our 4 locations.
Guys, do you suffer from erectile dysfunction? Now there's great news. Peak Performance for Men will help you regain your performance and confidence naturally. Peak Performance for Men uses an advanced form of acoustic wave therapy, clinically shown to open up and regrow blood vessels, restoring normal and natural functionability where it counts most. There are no needles, no surgery, and best of all, no pain. Call now and receive an ultrasound, your initial consultation, all for free, and over $300 value. Call Peak Performance for Men today.
I'm the pipes in your house, and if I start leaking, I can be more than annoying. I can cause major damage, and trust me, you don't want that.
Leaking pipes or low water pressure usually mean faulty and corroded pipes throughout your home. Repipe specialists can repipe your home in just a day or two, and most times at half the cost of a plumber. We'll even repair the walls and offer a lifetime guarantee. Call or visit us online for your free in-home estimate.
Tulsa Hills and Tulsa First Responders on December 4th from 2 to 6 p.m. for a toy drive benefiting Toys for Tots. Bring new, unwrapped toys to the Belk parking lot at Tulsa Hills and help us make sure every Tulsa area child has a magical Christmas.
Want an in-ground pool at a fraction of the price? Galaxy's Stealth Semi-In-Ground Pools are perfect for unlevel yards. Install in as little as 3 days. Take advantage of our fall special and be ready for spring. Shop any of our 4 locations.
Okay, it's that time of year again, Oklahoma. Winter weather is returning, and no one has forgotten last year's brutal hit. What will we face this year? Will we need to brace for another Arctic blast? Big snow or ice? Maybe Mother Nature will give us a pass. I'm analyzing data from around the world. I'll give you my take on what's ahead to help you prepare.
Don't miss Trav's winter weather forecast tonight at 10 on Oklahoma's own News on 6.
We've seen a lot of protesters in McAllister as well as at the state capitol in Oklahoma City. Emery Bryan is at the state capitol where it was very loud earlier, a lot of people there. Of course, we're all talking about the commutation that Governor Kevin Stitt has commuted Julius Jones' sentence to life without the possibility of parole.
And we do want to check back in now with Emery Bryan, who again is at the state capitol in Oklahoma City. And Emery, we just spoke with Grant, who said the motion over in McAllister when they first heard this news was one of elation and excitement, and now that's turned to kind of a somber moment, singing Amazing Grace. What are you seeing right now? Has the reaction changed at all in the 30 minutes to an hour or so since this news has been passed down?
Yeah, well, this crowd is not somber. They're celebrating. And, an hour ago they were here chanting, singing, demanding justice for Julius Jones. That quickly turned to elation when that announcement came down, spread through the crowd very quickly. A lot of celebrations, and now you can see the rotunda is just about cleared out. A lot of these folks have gone home. Some of them had intended to leave, to head down to McAllister to be outside the prison walls during the execution, take part in a protest there. They now don't have to do that. A lot of folks have been going around. You can see media's out talking to folks about their reaction to that. But several folks described that moment when they were in the crowd and they hear it, and there was a brief moment of confusion about what was going on, and that has just turned to absolute celebration here for all this group of supporters of Julius Jones. it's interesting to see what's happened here with this crowd. And of course, they're saying they want to keep some momentum going, keep this effort going to look at other cases, continue looking at Julius Jones' case. They don't see this life without the possibility of parole as definitely an end game. They say they want to still keep working on that with, of course, the intentions to send him home as an innocent man. That is not the way things are looking today, but they think that as they keep pushing, they'll be able to turn the tide even further on Julius Jones. Back to you guys.
All right, Emery Bryan, live in Oklahoma City. Thank you. And you can see behind Emery there's a lot of media covering this. There's a lot of attention internationally. Of course, a lot of celebrities have talked about this as well. Kim Kardashian West is one of the first people to really talk about this and tweet about it as well. So we're going to follow reaction across the globe, really, as this news has come in.
And not only that side of it, Jonathan, we also are waiting to hear, and we expect to hear sometime today from Paul Howell's family, who, of course, we mentioned at the top of the show, was the victim in this case back in 1999. Paul Howell was murdered as he returned home to Edmond after doing some back-to-school shopping with his two daughters and his sister, who witnessed his murder. Jones was sentenced for that crime in 2002, was sentenced to the death penalty, but again, that has been commuted to life without the possibility of parole this afternoon because of Governor Kevin Stitt's last-minute decision.
And our sister station, News 9 over in Oklahoma City, did talk to Paul Howell's sister about this, and we had a little bit of that yesterday in some of our coverage. And the Howell family has been very adamant that they saw Julius Jones do this. So, of course, their reaction is very different than some of the protesters out there in front of the penitentiary. We'll have much more on that as well. But we're running out of time now in this newscast. Let's get a look at the weather because it is a sunny day out there.
It is actually a beautiful day. Now for tonight, it's going to get really cold again. So there will be spots back in the 20s to start the day tomorrow. Make sure you bundle up. Don't forget outdoor pets. They have to have a warm shelter and cover up your sensitive plants, the ones that you don't think can make it through a freeze. Well, cover them up or bring them inside. We'll talk more at 4 o'clock about your weekend because we have a warm up and then another cool down with another front that we're tracking for Saturday night into Sunday morning and the chance for a few showers, especially early Sunday.
All right, Stacia, and you mentioned 4 o'clock. We'll have more coverage on this Julius Jones case coming up at 4 o'clock and online. Thanks for being with us today.
We'll see you back here tomorrow.